Hello and welcome to Walk the Talk. I am Shekhar Gupta at the Air House in Delhi, and my guest this week, Air Chief Marshal Arup Raha, Chief of Air Staff, on the verge of completing your tenure, and I would say a very eventful and successful tenure. Yes. So welcome to Walk the Talk. I'm sorry we had to choose this weather for you, but you are an all-weather Air Force.
An all-weather journalist.
All-weather journalist, yes, not just fair-weather journalist.
So nice.
So, what state did you inherit the Air Force, and in what state are you leaving it behind for your successor?
You see, when I took over as the Air Chief, I realized that the Air Force has a very strong foundation. We have a lot of legendary chiefs who had built up the foundation. And my challenge is going to be in sustaining the trajectory of transformation that has been started quite some time back. So that was my main challenge, and of course, if possible, to improve upon it. I think the Air Force was in very good state when I took over, barring the problem of aircraft becoming obsolescence and number of combat squadrons dwindling rapidly. That was the main concern. So as of now, I think that with the help of the government and the effort put in by the Air Force to acquire new aircraft is taking shape, and a lot of contracts have been signed, including 36 Rafale aircraft, and we expect the government will also take a decision on getting maybe another variant of fighter aircraft to make up the void that exists.
So, describe, sir, another variant, because for the layman, what you mean to say is something that is not either from big family or Sukhoi family or Rafale family, Rafale Mirage family or Tejas family.
Yes.
We need a stopgap between all.
Yes. The LCA is also already coming in.
Right.
We have already ordered for 2 squadrons of the current versions that is being operationalized, which will happen in another 2 to 3 years' time. And we've also ordered another 83 aircraft, Mark 1A of the LCA Tejas.
Tejas, yes.
So it will take some time to get these 123 aircraft, at least 10 years.
So are you impatient with the pace of construction?
See, it is a new aircraft.
Pace of production.
Production, yeah. See, we are trying to get the production rate ramped up.
Right.
The government is trying its best, the Honorable RM is trying its best. We are actually taking joint ownership to make sure that the teething problems of the LCA get resolved at the earliest, and we get the product that you're looking for in the shape of Mark 1A, which is much more improved version. But despite that, we'll still have voids in our combat aircraft numbers and capabilities. Inventory. So to fill up that void, we have been working with the government to at least produce one more type of fighter aircraft, 4th generation, maybe 4 plus, in Make in India initiative.
So what are we looking at? Are we looking at something like more Rafale? That is not that's not the same category. That's heavy.
Yeah, it's
medium.
We need a mix of fighter types.
Right.
Heavyweight, which is the Su-30 class.
Su-30 class.
Medium weight, which is the Rafale class, and of course, light combat aircraft Tejas is the low weight category. So you have to have the entire mix,
right?
Balanced mix.
So near the between light and medium weight category, you're looking for one more variant.
Between light and medium, because we have good number of heavy weight category, that is the Sukhoi 30. And it's a very potent
and we have enough of those now.
And we have enough. 272 is a very good number.
Very good number, yes.
So we need to have, I think, more of the Rafale variety. We just bought 36. It would be ideal, if you ask me, in terms of inventory management, capability management, to have a few more squadrons of Rafale. Okay.
But is that a possibility, sir?
I think there is a possibility. I'm sure the government will look at it. If it's a good deal and if it can come in the Make in India category, nothing like it. But then the costs are quite high. So therefore, we require something other than this twin engine, medium variety as well, because we need to fill up the voids quickly.
So have you recommended to the government more Rafales that 36 is not enough?
We have recommended. We have not recommended Rafale as such, but Rafale will be ideal because you already bought some
Already
of
bought
them.
some. So what is it that about Pakistan that worries you or that concerns you? Pakistan Air Force and Pakistan. Speak as Chief of Air Staff and Chief of Joint Staffs Committee.
You see, now I would not like to take any country's name, but the Indian Armed Forces are extremely capable, and we know that we are very well off vis-a-vis our adversaries.
But do we have deterrent capability vis-a-vis Pakistan today?
See, we have, that's why I mentioned that the armed forces have a lot of deterrent capability, especially the Air Force. The Indian Air Force is very potent, and I would not like to give you the figures and the capabilities, but we have definitely distinct deterrent capability against in terms of any contingency that might come up. I would not like to take any names.
Right. But sir, you made a statement the other day about POK.
Yes.
That, you know, that as a soldier, I mean, I'm now qualifying it further. As a soldier, it hurts to have that territory. Will you explain that a little bit more to me?
Yeah, no, it's like this.
Is it nostalgia? No. Is it a mission statement? Is it?
No, you see, there was a seminar on aerospace industry.
Right.
Why didn't it come up the way it should have in our Indian context? So I said that right from the beginning, there was a perception that the military power is not so important because the circumstances and the environment was such. Nobody wanted, after the Second World War and then the subsequent war that took place in Vietnam as well as in Korea. So there was a kind of an apathy towards military power. And we were one of the leaders in setting up democratic establishment. Our credentials would speak for it. So we believed in the United Nations Charter, we believed in Panchshil, we wanted peaceful coexistence and tranquility all across. So obviously the military power did not get the right kind of impetus that it deserved to my mind, in keeping with the times, in keeping with the environments. So it so happened that we did not build up a military capacity, especially aerospace power. So that was the context I said that when we had some aerospace power to be utilized in terms of offensive capability, we did not do so because the circumstances those days were such, the thinking was such. I did not try to, blame anyone or pull down anyone. My a statement of fact that we are very reluctant to use air power.
Has that changed now?
Definitely, I think there has been a solid change in our approach, and everybody feels that if you are in trouble, if you have a contingency where you have to protect your sovereignty, your not only aerospace sovereignty, airspace sovereignty and the land borders or coastal frontiers, you have to use all your assets, including offensive capability of the Air Force.
What is your assessment of Pakistan's air defense systems? Because 65, 71, they basically relied on their air defense and increasing the costs for us.
See, as I said, that you have to be offensive to hurt your adversary. And the offensive power, actually, most of it comes in the form of Air Force going across and hitting the targets. So therefore, we had casualties in any, it will happen in any. When you are on the offensive, you tend to lose more, but the results on ground will be much better in one's favor. So that way, I think their air defense is reasonably good. They have worked on it consistently, but just remember, air defense alone cannot win victories.
That's true, but the fact is that we also have a little weakness for minimalism. Say Kargil, we opened up with aircraft that were very vulnerable to low-level missile attacks and lost 3. Then didn't lose any. But do we tend to make a minimal opening in a way?
Maybe because once again the perception is there that we'll go in a step-by-step matrix.
Right.
This is the thinking in general.
We remember the 3 aircraft we lost. 2 MiGs and 1 helicopter. But one Canberra also got hit. It survived, but got hit. PR, photo reconnaissance.
It so happened that maybe we did not make a proper assessment of the threat in terms of air defense, shoulder fire missiles that they had. And also, we had not fired weapons at those altitudes.
Right.
So if we lost an aircraft, the MiG-23 which we lost, actually we released weapons in a salvo.
Right, and it sucked in.
At an altitude of 15,000-16,000 feet, at those altitudes you've never done any practice. And at those levels, the oxygen level, oxygen quantity is so low.
Choked.
So engine choked with all the exhaust gases of the rockets getting sucked into the engine, and it could not be relit in time. Right. So the aircraft went down, the pilot had to eject. Maybe you can point a finger that we did not train ourselves for a situation like that.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. And the second aircraft that went down was that he did not realize that there is surface-to-air missile, shoulder-fired, which could be a threat to him. And in terms of camaraderie, he went down as low as possible to locate where he is. And so he was transmitting to others on the ground so that it could be retrieved. The pilot, down pilot could be retrieved. Unfortunate that it happened. But thereafter, I think we became wiser.
Absolutely.
And we did a very good job in terms of the further air engagement.
Including your successor, I think he was very
Yes, he was involved in this. Yes. I think he was given an Uttam Yudh medal, YSM medal.
So, sir, now higher defense structure in India. You are now heading the Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee. Is this a good enough structure, or does India need, time has come for India to need a Chief of Defense Staff?
To my mind, I think it's, every idea has its time.
Right.
So the time for CDS is, I think, ripe and right. And there were disagreements on various issues of this CDS or Permanent Chairman's Chiefs of Staff Committee, how it should be formed, who should lead it, what will be the organizational structure, what will be the relativities in terms of functions and area of responsibility. But the three services are united in this. We have all agreed that we require a CDS. So a lot of committees have been formed over the last 2 decades.
And you don't worry that it will mostly be the army that will get this?
No, we don't worry about that. I'm sure the person who is most qualified to lead the three services as a single point, advisor to the to the government would be wise enough to take everybody along. And you will find that we have the Tri-Services Command, like the Strategic Forces Command, Andaman Nicobar Command, and Headquarters IDS. People from different services with different uniforms come there. You see the change in the approach. So it is the exposure that is very important.
You think this will lead to more jointmanship?
It will definitely lead to more jointmanship, provided he has clear-cut responsibilities and his equations with the civilian counterparts in the MOD and others. And structurally, we have to be very strong so that there are no ambiguities.
Right.
So that is what needs to be fixed in the organization, in the higher defense organization, for making the CDS a success and efficient.
But do you think otherwise the time for that idea has come?
Idea has come, and I think it will happen. I'm sure the government is working on it.